Hey guys, if you don't already know, my name is Jay, and today we're going to be discussing why you may be feeling lost and unmotivated, and most importantly, what to do about it. I'm going to share what took me years to learn and actually start putting in place. And this is after several jobs, attempts of launching businesses, most importantly, doing a lot of inner work and going to therapy. So let's get into it. Why you're feeling lost and unmotivated. Number one, you're letting shame and guilt stop you. As a single mom and a first generation, I had what many and I dreamed of as a great paying corporate job. It provided for me and my daughter, but yet I still found myself in my car during my lunch hour feeling miserable and asking myself, is this really it? Is this really all there is? I had so much guilt and shame, and I felt like I just wasn't being grateful. I knew that there was a lot of people that dreamed to have what I had. And I allowed guilt and shame to stop me from going for what I really wanted. Number two, you feel unworthy. Many of us have unprocessed trauma and victimhood mentality. For me, because I defined myself by what others thought of me and the things that had happened to me in the past. I let unworthiness stop me from going to what I really desired because I didn't feel I deserved it or was capable enough. Number three, you lack purpose. Many of us lack direction. Being on survival mode means that you don't take a lot of time to process. And if I'm being honest, I lack purpose because I didn't really know who I was. I never took the time to get to know what I really wanted, let alone what gave me purpose. So of course, I kept feeling lost and unmotivated. I didn't really know what lit me up. And because I was too afraid to process my past, that of course stopped me from reflecting about what I really wanted out of life. Number four, you're letting fear paralyze you. Sometimes we're so afraid to take action because we're looking for guarantees. We're looking to have all the actions before we actually start taking action. When what we really need to learn is how to trust ourselves and know that everything is going to be okay regardless. I know if you're a mom or you're a single mom, we have others that depend on us. But as moms, we're already doing so much for others that we are more than capable of figuring things out. My survival mode had me always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I would self-sabotage, not because I wasn't capable, but because chaos became my go-to. I remember always having one foot in, one foot out. But the thing is, when we're waiting to have all the answers, just with me starting this YouTube channel, you're not gonna know the next steps until you take action. I started this YouTube channel and I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know that I was going to have to improve how I spoke when I came on camera. The lighting, using Canva, design, thumbnails. There are things that we're just gonna have to take faith on, and then the answers will start appearing. Here's what I started doing to start getting more motivated and live a more fulfilled life. It didn't happen overnight, but there's definitely these micro habits that you can start that will just take you 5 minutes a day. You need to start getting to know yourself. Ask yourself, what is it that you really want and need? I started with just looking for self-discovery journals. I also started looking for women that I admired and inspired me or had the life that I wanted. I even started taking mini courses. Most importantly, what I did though, I actually started putting time aside, 5 minutes. I would start doing the journaling prompts in my car, and what I started to notice is that my soul will light up and get excited whenever I did these things. That was the first feeling that I ever had, that I was like starting to fall in love with myself. It's like when you're dating, you just want to learn more about this person. Self-discovery and self-love gives you that feeling too. And it really did start in my car with just 5 minutes a day. The next thing, you need to start to own it. Once I started to get to know myself, like I mentioned, I started falling in love with who I was becoming. I started to respect myself. I started to have more self-confidence and self-worth. And that led me to the next thing. You need to start taking action. Even though I didn't fully know what I wanted next, as far as a career, outside of being someone's mom, I started listening to those desires. What is it that you really desire and want? but you thought that you couldn't do it because you're either too young, too old, you don't have enough money, you don't have enough time. Insert reason or excuse here. I understand as a single mom that you feel that you don't have a lot of time. You give so much time to others. You can give yourself a few minutes a day. I started with photography. I remember that I was living in Los Angeles, and I remember I loved their billboards. They have like the best billboards. And I started to think, what if I got a camera and just started taking pictures? And I actually started doing street photography. And then I started to go to events, and then I actually started getting paid here and there. I did Uber. I'm not saying you have to do Uber, but it was so spiritually fulfilling for me, meeting new people from all over the world. And then that also led me to start a podcast. I noticed that there wasn't a lot of women of color who were entrepreneurs being highlighted. This was around the time when podcasts were just getting started, and I remember that I loved listening to them. And back then, I'm telling you, it was absolutely the worst trying to get a podcast. There wasn't any of this stuff that simplifies it for you. Because of that, I started creating events. It was all things I never imagined. I come from a legal background, not a tech background, but things just started to unfold for me. And they can start just as simply for you. One thing will lead to another. And it all just starts with 5 minutes a day. These were all things that were low risk that I did on my free time when I started. That made such a huge difference in my life. They all brought me to living a more purpose-filled life that made me motivated every day. It made me ask myself, what else could I accomplish? If you're feeling stuck, I would definitely go check out the video Feeling Stuck and Identity Loss. I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Make sure to drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.